We're out here. This is the field where the magic happens.
Benning Bites with Damon Benning. Benning Bites with Damon Benning.
It's another episode of Benning Bites. Powerful show today. Good one. Thank you, folks, for being a part of what we're doing. If you didn't get a chance to catch it live and you're going to be on the radio replay page, we appreciate you however you get us. It could be Apple, Google, Spotify, TuneIn. Could be just good old-fashioned. Well, if you're live real-time, then it's AM, ESPN 590 or Tri-Cities. Or you can even catch us real-time on X, formerly known as Twitter. 888-638-4876. We like a nice interactive show. So that's always an option. I mean, just good stuff today. Something unexpected, but, you know, it's live radio. When natural happens, it's good. So a lot of raw emotions today, and not to overshadow just some of the brilliance. And I know it's probably something that staff takes for granted, but just the authenticity and the ability to say the quiet parts out loud, or as Robbie likes to say, address the elephant in the room. And it was preceding a really fantastic talk we had with Mitch Sherman. And I always appreciate the depth because he allows us to kind of ask some questions that aren't just the topical stuff. But he brought up a couple of good points that we were addressing with Coach Rhule as we kind of were breaking down the press conference, and kind of the appreciation and the reverence he has for his staff. And I love the pause where he wanted you to feel how he values his staff. And that doesn't mean that he's not going to hold them accountable or they have to do their job at a high level or there are expectations, right? Because multiple things can be true at once. But I felt like in that response, there was almost no better representation of when he says we're caring, not coddling. I can care, and I love the fact that you're here and you took some chances in us and you believe in us when you didn't have to. But, you know, we got work to do. And I and the rest of our team are going to hold each other accountable because that's how we believe in growth. Or you can talk about difficult conversations about doing little things a little better in the moment. And how if you can just handle the nuances as they come up real time and not make a big deal about it, then that puts you ahead of the game. And he was talking about late travel or the portal or NIL. And I love it real time. Like it moves my needle because it just gives tangible, credible examples on why I love his delivery. And I don't want it to just be a me thing. I hope it's an everybody thing. But we focus on what makes it important because he's a great example of simple versus easy. He says a lot of things out loud that oh, yeah, man. How many times have you guys been around, you're listening to something he says, and you're like, I get it. I would do X, Y, and Z for this man, or it makes me feel like this, or man, I'm ready to go, or we're in good hands. And it's his ability to make the simple just part of the day-to-day, and he makes it sound easy, right? Going to hold people accountable. Listen, I believe in our heart of hearts that we're the best place for your young person. If you don't feel that way, that's fine. We'll cheer you on, but I'm not going to, you know, short sight our staff and myself by saying we're the best for you. Like, I believe that. And unapologetically, I'm not going to mince words there. Like, we'll be the best people for you. And that, for me, is like, man, I remember him telling the story in the press conference in week 6. Why would you want to argue with me? Like, We've rebuilt programs. I've spent a ton of time in the NFL. I'm familiar with the combine and the drafting process. Don't come here with an attitude to practice at the University of Nebraska. Like, I know. Just trust me. Like, I'm for you. And the more and the longer that he's been around here, the more you get the sense that he truly does care. And Robbie said something the other day that I think is really, really undersold. And I said it in passing after the weekend of the official visit because I thought it was pretty powerful, but just out of, not everything is for radio, so I didn't go into depths, but he was basically explaining how much he loved Nebraska and being in Nebraska and the university. And it caught me off guard because having that conversation with him, I'd never really hear coaches talk about how much they love being here. I mean, do a quick rundown in your Rolodex in the last 20 years, how many times you've heard the head football coach say that. And he just says it so freely. And the reason that it resonates with me so well is because I thought it was important that whomever is in the leadership position here makes it about something than them, the individual, right? I said, Johnny Rodgers and Rich Glover never said, I went to the University of Bob Devaney. I would never say I went to the University of Tom Osborne. I said we went to the University of Nebraska. Coach Osborne always talk about playing for something bigger than self, whether it be your teammates or the state or spiritually what you believe in. Something has to be more important than just your own individual outcome. Could be other teammates. Could be the common vision. Anything other than just you. So to hear the practical applications of the reverence that he has for, by he I mean Coach Rhule, the history and the tradition, and to reference something, I've never seen anybody, well, maybe a few, very, very few peers, that can deflect the compliments and absorb the criticisms. He does it seamlessly. And we take it for granted because we just figure he's this great orator. And he does possess those skills. He has tremendous command of the human language. That's not really the point. The point is the authenticity. Right? I told you the story about the house versus a home and the power in that. Hey, I'm here to help you find a home, not just some structural dwelling where you have no idea what goes on the inside. I want you to focus on what's going on the inside and then be able to appreciate the structure in which it operates under. The more you listen to him, the more you understand and can appreciate the difference between simple, which is his message, and easy, which is to walk the walk and talk the talk on the daily, which you constantly hear. The level of consistency in the message of what the University of... When's the last time you can remember somebody on the staff, the support staff, saying something, and it was in contrary or it was in a different vein than what you had been hearing? You ever remember Kristen or Corey Campbell or Coach Satterfield or Coach Foley, somebody just saying something, Troy Vincent Jr., you can get as far away as the day-to-day coaching staff and still put it to the old pH balance litmus test. When's the last time you heard somebody say that wasn't in lockstep line with the consistency of the message? I tell you, you can't find it. The ability to have differing opinions of higher level thinkers with a common goal can be absolutely spectacular when it's channeled for good. I don't know how it lends itself to wins and losses, but I know to watch it unfold this early is a lot better than not. It's another episode of Benning Bites.